Organisers say close to 2 million people turn out to protest against Hong Kong's controversial extradition bill, making it the biggest protest in the autonomous island's history. Candidates in Istanbul face off in a heated television debate ahead of the city's rerun of the mayor elections. The vote is seen as a test for Turkish democracy. And former Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir appears in court to face charges of corruption and possession of foreign currency. It is the former autocratic leader's first public appearance since being ousted from power. Hello and thank you for joining us in the France 24 newsroom. I'm Simon Harding. Hong Kong has seen the biggest protest in its history after close to 2 million people took to the streets to protest against the government's controversial extradition bill. Chief Executive Carrie Lam apologised on Sunday for proposing the legislature as more and more people call for her resignation. Demonstrators today reiterated their will to keep protesting until the bill is fully scrapped. Cole Stangler has the latest.
Protesters in the streets of Hong Kong stayed late into the night. Over 2 million took part in a march on Sunday, according to organizers, despite the government's decision to suspend a bill that would allow extradition to mainland China. Demonstrators want the proposed law withdrawn, and some want the city's leader to step down.
Carrie Lam seems to have forgotten those who she claims are her children, us residents. She has pretended not to hear or see our troubles, or the injured protesters. She even called them rioters. This makes us furious as Hong Kong residents.
Dressed in black, many also carried flowers or wore white ribbons, paying homage to a man who fell to his death on Saturday after hanging up a protest banner.
Yesterday, there was a young person who fell and died. My heart hurts. I'm very sad about this. Why do young people have to use methods like this to fight, but still can't get any results? I think Carrie Lam needs to reflect on this. She must step down.
Over the past week, hundreds of thousands have joined marches, demanding the government scrap the bill that would authorize suspects to be sent for trial in mainland China. Many fear the legislation would undermine Hong Kong's autonomy, as well as threaten resident civil rights.
In Turkey, just a week before a controversial rerun of Istanbul's mayor's elections, candidates have faced off in a television debate. Former Prime Minister and AKP candidate Binali Yildirim faced the opposition's Ekrem İmamoğlu, who won the initial vote in March but was ousted from City Hall when the result was annulled in May. The revote is seen as a test of Turkish democracy and a test for Recep Tayyip Erdogan's AK party.
It was the first televised debate of its kind in Turkey in 17 years, 1 week before a repeat election that supporters say was engineered to favor his opponent. Yet Istanbul mayoral candidate Ekrem İmamoğlu looked self-assured. Whether he wins the June 23rd Istanbul election or not, he has become one of the most prominent opponents in years to the dominance of the Justice and Development Party, or AK Party, over Turkey under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
The Istanbul election has become a symbol for democracy. We can see that. We have a duty to democracy as great as our duty to Istanbul from now on.
İmamoğlu, 49 years old, was not particularly well known in Turkish politics before his upset win over ruling party candidate Binali Yildirim on March 31st. Born in northeastern Turkey, he moved to Istanbul in 1991 and took up work in the family construction business. In 2009, he became a local branch leader of Turkey's largest opposition party, the Republican People's Party, or CHP. Then, in March 2014, he defeated a ruling party incumbent to join Istanbul's municipal government as a district leader. In 2017, he was nominated by the CHP to run for mayor after the city's then mayor resigned. He lost the vote, which was open only to local lawmakers, and the AKP stayed in power. Then came this year's vote. Polls had him 3 to 5 points behind Binali Yildirim, a former prime minister with the ruling AKP. But İmamoğlu scraped ahead, winning the election by just 22,000 of more than 8 million votes. In May, however, Turkey's High Election Board overruled the vote, saying it was marred by irregularities, and scheduled a rerun on June 23rd. It remains to be seen whether İmamoğlu can pull off a repeat win next Sunday. Most polls currently put him in the lead, but it's sure to be a tight race.
In the United Kingdom, Conservative candidates continue to spar in the race for number 10 Downing Street. In a TV debate, 5 of the candidates looking to succeed Theresa May clashed on a variety of issues, including the now infamous no-deal option. Increasing calls from the public have asked for Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage to be included in the negotiations, but Tory candidates have said Brexit is not about him. In Sudan, former President Omar al-Bashir has made his first public appearance since he was toppled from power. The former autocratic leader, surrounded by bodyguards, answered summons from the country's prosecutor general to face trial. He is accused of corruption and possessing foreign currency, as Julia Kim reports.
Clad in white, Omar al-Bashir appeared in public for the first time since his ouster. Security forces led him out of Khartoum's Kober prison, then whisked him away by car. A heavily armed convoy escorted the former president to the prosecutor's office, where he faces several corruption-related offences.
The principals of the prosecutor's office were presented to the accused, former President Omar al-Bashir, and a charge was laid under Articles 5 and 9 regarding the possession of foreign money, as well as Article 6 regarding illegally acquired resources.
Bashir had previously made it illegal to possess more than $5,000 in overseas currency. When he was ousted in April, the military council said millions of dollars worth of foreign cash had been seized from his residence. The corruption charges come a month after he was charged with incitement and the killing of protesters during last December's rallies. Those protests over an increase in bread prices marked the beginning of the end of Bashir's 30-year grip on power. Swelling into a mass uprising, by April the 11th, the military stepped in to depose the veteran president, paving the way for Sudan's current leadership deadlock. Emerging from the prosecutor's office scowling, Bashir was then driven back to prison. Prosecutors have given him 1 week to appeal.
Moving on to Israel, where the wife of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has admitted to misuse of public funds. Sarah Netanyahu will have to pay over 13,000 euros in fines. The sentencing comes after she agreed to a plea bargain that ended the saga of just one of the high-profile corruption cases involving Netanyahu's family.
She stood accused of illegally misusing public funds, spending thousands of dollars on elaborate meals. Now on Sunday, Sarah Netanyahu was convicted by a Jerusalem court. The wife of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu charged, alongside a government employee, of spending roughly $100,000 on catering from expensive restaurants between 2010 and 2013. In a plea deal, Netanyahu admitted to spending around half of that and exploiting the mistake of another person's misuse of public funds. She will pay some $15,000 in fines to the state.
The significance of this ruling is that any person with access to public funds, as senior as they may be, cannot use it as their own. Taking significant amounts of public funds over several years, in violation of the rules and procedures, is a criminal felony with a conviction and a real fiscal penalty.
Never far from her husband's side at public events, Sarah Netanyahu is no stranger to controversy. In addition to the fraud case, she's faced mistreatment accusations from employees. She is currently being sued by a former cleaner, while in 2016 a court awarded $47,000 in damages to an ex-housekeeper who accused her of bullying. Sunday's ruling brings to a close one of the longest-running cases against the family, yet her husband is still up against some more serious corruption allegations. Benjamin Netanyahu is due to appear at a pre-trial hearing in October on charges of fraud and bribery. He denies all accusations as part of a media witch hunt.
That's all we have for now. Thanks for watching.